Hello, hello, hello! Welcome, man. Welcome to the stream. I'm Leona Theodosia. Today we are playing the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Hello! Alright. Let me... It's so weird seeing the chat like that. Okay, let's check. Okay, right into it. Okay, so we just found this dude. And... he is in all likelihood the actual culprit of the shenanigans that is going around. Oh, you know what? Probably. Goodbye. Goodbye, little mice. Little me's. Okay, you know, actually, I'm kind of big. I was adjusting things. I need to shrink. Ah! Okay, there we go. That's probably better. I'll get in the way of less things. I'll eventually get in the way of things. It's Ace Attorney. It's, it's just gonna happen. Because things move around. It's like, oh, in this view, things are here. And I'm like, I gotta move. Anyway, we quite literally just found him. Then I'm like, we're ending it there. I'm not talking. But we are near the end of episode 8, like I've been saying in the descriptions of things. So let's see how far we can get into this. What happened here? Yo, why does the room look like a wreck? I gotta do voices again. What on earth happened in here? You found me, haven't you? No need to screw me down any further. That's right. And you more like robotic. You move like a robot, so robo voice. Everything in here is precisely what it seems. That's quite the grin. Oh, hi Gregson, I forgot you were here. Oh no. Yeah, well, we'll be giving it a thorough going over. Don't you worry, Drebber. What fails to click with me is how you were able to locate my workshop. That I was not expecting. A dog. When I heard whistling from the other room, I knew it was time to bolt. Whistling? Ah, that would have been me. Oh! Why are you standing like a wax figure again, Shlomes? Right, I think I think Gregson yelled at him last time and he just did that again. Oh, hold on. I might need it. Let me try doing something. Okay. Is that better? Yes. Okay. That's better. Some people probably don't even know what I'm talking about, but that's okay. For some reason, I woke in fine fettle today. I'm glad you're happy, Shlomes. Gregson is not. No words, just tightly squeezed chips. Indeed. Clearly, I must have a screw loose, though as I couldn't remember the combination for the safe. And another one loose, as I couldn't remember on which piece of furniture I had written it down. We also found a rope over by the wall. Yes, I had hoped to exit through the skylight, but sadly, the rope was too short. So, I then set about searching for the combination code to open the safe. Did you fall? I'm burning the incriminating blueprints, don't forget. Regrettably, though, you failed to retrieve the head from the balloon among the rafters. No comment. After that, you hid yourself inside the safe? Having first set this parcel ticking. Well, I had no intention of being nailed by the police. Time bomb. Got a death wish, have ya? Hiding right beside a ticking time bomb. Please, why do you suppose I chose to hide inside the safe? It's no ordinary safe. It's specially designed. A dynamite explosion wouldn't leave a scratch on it. That's a sturdy safe. So, in fact, the safe was the only safe place. Thank you for the punch, love. Precisely. But once you climbed inside, you wouldn't have been able to get out again. I invite you to look more closely. The safe is fitted with a handle on the inside to allow the door to be unlocked from within. Ah, so it is. It is designed for people to hide in this thing. What did you run out of oxygen? I guess if it was only for a short time, you wouldn't have to worry about it so much. I'd always intended to blow this place to smithereens in any case. I just wasn't expecting uninvited guests to come along and screw up my plans. Do you mean to say you were planning to blow us all up? No, that was unforeseen. What do you mean? I like Drebber's movements. They're so robotic. It's almost like you're talking to a mannequin, not a mannequin, an automaton. Or automata? Automaton? You know, there's probably a few ways of saying it because there's just probably like different languages and stuff, but Android? Well, androids are more like computer chips, electronic, you know, electricity, I guess, because robot. Automaton kind of implies gears, and clearly this man has gears. I also just realized one side is plus and one side is minus all the way down. I was wondering about that because I didn't see. He's got a plus-minus motif. Interesting. That's fun. But it's more pluses than minuses. Anyway, okay. Getting distracted. Most people run, you see, when they see a ticking time bomb at their feet. Ah! I calculated the time required for retreat to a safe distance and set the device accordingly. But your seemingly endless discourse in here threw a spanner in the works. Gregson's side-eyeing Shlomes as he should. There's something wrong, Gregson. Do I have something on my face? Besides the usual eyes, ears, nose, and mouth? I don't know if ears are on your face, per se. And apparently that ends our conversation with Drebber. I think we have a fairly good idea of what's been going on here now. But what about the two incidents you've inevitably... Oh, wait. Okay, let's try that again. But what about the two incidents you've evidently been involved in recently? Professor Harebrain's instantaneous kinesis experiment at the Great Exhibition. And the waxwork model you stole, which this head belongs to. That's no ordinary head, you know. That's the head of the professor. Clad in a mask with a lock so strong, I'm unable to open it safely to reveal the killer's identity. I've been considering carrying it around as protection. That's enough. Hello, coroner lady. Wait, she's also the lead of the forensic team, isn't she? What's going on here, Gregson? I'm sure you're aware that I have sole jurisdiction to investigate here. Yes, well... The Sith again. The forensic investigation team are here. And you know full well this engineer is a key witness. Why are you allowing this lawyer access to him? If Lord Strongheart knew of this, you'd be finished. You lot. Think at once. My dear madame, there's no need for such a threatening tone, I assure you. After all, that's no way to greet an old acquaintance, is it, Dr. Sith? Hello, Shlomes. The Shlomes knows Dr. Sith? But it's not protecting the machine next door that's causing such a sour expression on your face. You are quite misguided. It's really nothing more than a shell. You get out. But of course, we'll show ourselves the door. I see you haven't softened at all. Mr. Naruhodo. Yes? It would appear that our delightfully entertaining investigations have run their course for today. But Mr. Shlomes? Let us leave this place in the doctor's capable hands. I said get out. Now. All of you. Your presence here is not required either, Gregson. Understood. But I'll just say one thing before I head off. If it wasn't for this lawyer and his companions, we'd never have found this place, and the whole workshop would have been blown to bits. There was a time bomb set here that this lot disarmed. Inspector. Something giving you a chuckle, has it, Drebber? Ah, so sorry. Didn't mean to offend. You're quite right, of course. You did disarm the time bomb, didn't you? Yes, you did disarm that one. Eh? What are you... That one? Yeah, you mean... Oh. Oh. There's another one. Where is it? Oh, it's in the machine at the exhibition. Oh, there's two policemen nearby. Guys, you gotta move. Well, they're bare minimum in the hospital. Oh dear. It was an hour later that we heard the news of the enormous explosion that ripped through the experimentation stage at the Great Exhibition. No, they're a little more than the hospital. I think they're in the morgue. Oh no. Poor policemen. They were just doing their job. Professor Harebrain's invention and all its secrets were blown away forever. Your face will explode. Yep, I knew if we knew it. We were right near the end of the continuum, but I'm like, I gotta wrap it up. No, we're not ending here. That'd be an insanely short stream. Not gonna lie. Oh, big God. Big God. Oh, okay. 24th October, 9:11 a.m. Old Bailey Defendant's Antechamber. Who's here? Oh, hi, Hairbrain. Good morning to you, Mr. Naruhodo. Ah, good morning, Professor. Ready for today's proceedings? I just realized I set the kettle to boil, my electric kettle, and I forgot to make myself tea. Well, that sucks. Anyway, moving on. We're about to start the trial. I hope so. I should be, even I, with nothing left to... Good morning, my dear fellows. Shlomes. Hi, and you're already posing. Oh, Mr. Shlomes, you're here. Are you gonna stay here? Why, naturally. A true gentleman stands shoulder to shoulder with his friends in a battle at all times. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I'll see you later, then. Now, Professor, we really need you to remain calm in the courtroom today. Yes, do try your hardest not to enter the witness stand uninvited again. Are we about to see us? Yep, we're about to see us sulking Shlomes. What was Hairbrain saying? Yes, I will. I realize it was a... Yes, I will. I realize it was a mistake, but My dear fellows, I must interject. He's so upset. Oh, you're still here, Mr. Shlomes. What's the matter? Surely you've overlooked some praise, have you not? To be cast in my direction, Sorry, I don't follow. Must I spell it out? I, the great Herlock Shlomes, the greatest detective of worldwide acclaim, arose at some ungodly hour to be here now. First thing in the morning. A miracle, you must agree. I think it's a miracle that you're just here to begin with, let alone... regardless of status of being awake or not. Usually, even when you are awake, you're not here. You're too OP, Shlomes. You're not allowed in the courtroom. Except for at dire moments, or like, when you're only awakened from a coma because you got shot in the side that one time and you showed up as a bailiff and then promptly passed out on the witness stand. Yeah, good times. This game's kind of nuts. What is going on? Okay. Well, if I must agree, then. As you know, my sleep is quite impregnable? Oh yeah, like, you cannot... I don't know how to describe this. You can't get in. That's funny. As you know, my stream is quite impregnable. Iris had to employ her full gamut of tactics. She pulled the covers off, shook me, poked both cheeks, punched me, and kicked me from the bed. Couldn't she just yank the sheets and take you with it? Or does that not work on you? Then she poured a boiling cup of her latest experimental blend on my face, and at last I was bestirred. How strong is your face resistant to heat, Shlomes? You don't have any burns, and she poured boiling. Are you sure it was boiling in actuality? It was probably just like lukewarm. Oh my, Iris has been busy. Iris doesn't have it in her to go that far. She's too nice. Ah, I sense the spirit of a fellow scientist, one who relishes in the infinite possibilities of blending tea. I'm the one worthy of praise here, not Iris. This is my victory. No, it's definitely Iris's victory for getting your butt out of bed. Okay, who's talking now? Sorry to cut in. Who is it? Oh, it's Gregson. Hi. Oh, Inspector Gregson. Good morning. Gregson, my dear fellow! Why the grim expression at this delightfully early hour? Oh, I don't know. Maybe because I've been confronted with a grimmer expression, eh? Dear me. Are you gonna take that insult lying down, Professor? What? What? I don't know! Good, Professor. Anyway, here's the paperwork you asked for. What paperwork? Ah, I took the liberty of requesting it yesterday. I have a feeling that it may prove useful. You wouldn't believe the hoops I had to jump through to get this brought out of the archives. It's the professor's autopsy report. That mass murderers? Who killed 5 members of the aristocracy? He was found guilty in a closed trial 10 years ago now. It was all done under wraps. And he was quickly executed soon after the trial. It's all in here. Ooh. Can we look at that right now? I don't know what to say. Thank you, Inspector. Okay, what is this up? Them prisoner. Name is redacted for confidentiality. Pseudonym the Professor. Death by hanging confirmed at midnight, 17th June. Courtney Stevens. Isn't that the... Courtney's the name of... Since? The forensic person. Lady. Is this the one page? Yeah, it is. Okay. Oh, speaking of, I haven't looked at this. Huh. No, there's nothing. There's really nothing to look at? Really? Okay. And we got a trophy. Okay. Let's move over. What is this? There's a little metal plaque here, look. Oop, I need to move the chat. It's fucking Susato. Oh no. Oop, nope, I didn't take chat with me. Oop. Failure. Fostering burgeoning talent for the future of scientific discovery. It seems rather ironic, doesn't it? Clearly, Mr. Drebber really was a very talented scientist. Indeed. Is that it? Whee! Sometimes it's just fun to spin things around. Alright, we got a small bit of glass. I don't think there's much to look at. Besides, apparently it's very thick glass. This piece of glass is almost as thick as it is wide. Yes, I've never seen anything like it. If you were to compare it to a human, only Mr. Shlums has such thick skin. There's really no need for such a comparison, Mr. Naruhodo, as you well know. Anyway, it can only be from the Crystal Tower, surely. Yes, I think so too. It was probably made especially to meet the demands of that great structure. You can kind of see there's light refractions on it and stuff. I'm just having fun messing around with things at this point. Moving right along. Okay. So we got things. Yes, much obliged, Gregson. Us lowly lot at the yard are just doing what we can. In the shadow of the great Detective Schlums, of course. He's acting kind of weird. A lot more calm, Gregson. Usually he's a lot more aggressive around Schlums. Well then, Professor Hairbrain, this is it. Today we're going to lay all this to rest at last. Hopefully. I wish you the best of luck, Professor. I suppose. He'll be in there today, will he? Drebber. Yes, we expect the prosecution to summon him as a witness. I'm still amazed that you managed to find him in just one day. You can thank a puppy. I really owe you both so much. You owe the puppy. 2. Because Susato and Ryunosuke do deserve credit as well. But the puppy. Counsel the defendant. The trial is about to resume. Kindly make your way into the courtroom at once. Here we go. This is it then. Final chapter. Funny, my heart's racing a little. I've not felt this way before, actually. A strange foreboding. As if something's going to happen in this trial that I'm not ready for. I can't let that distract me from the only thing that really matters. Finding the truth. Oh, you don't know the half of it, Ryunosuke. We're in. Every trial scene is just gonna be bananas. 24th October, 9:30 a.m. Old Bailey Courtroom. Woo! Yep, here. Right there's some magician guy. I'm like, who's moving so much? I'm like, oh right, the magician plays with cards as he goes along. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session again. We resume the public hearing of Albert Harebrain, here present, who stands accused of murder. Are the counsels for the prosecution and defense ready to proceed? Oh, hi. I thought he was holding a cape for, well, Van Zieks was holding a cape for a second, and I'm like, oh wait, that's his assistant. He's so tiny. Is Van Zieks big or is the assistant tiny? It's like a head tall. He's like over a head taller than him. Or is that just perspective, I guess? There's some perspective going on too. Mask assistant sitting there ominously. The prosecution is ready, my lord. Ryunosuke gets quiet. Are you watching the assistant? The defense is ready, my lord. Because yeah, Ryunosuke and Susato suspect this amnesiac assistant man to be actually Kazuma. Because Shlums may or may not have lied. He wasn't being forthwith with that though, because it's Shlomes. What is with things today? Yeah. Oh wait, the wrong thing. Sorry, I'm like keep blinking so much, and I'm just like, I need to figure out a balance. So annoying. Okay. As promised, Lord Van Zieks has his apprentice with him. His apprentice, memory loss. Susato's laser focused. Okay. If I may, Lord Van Zieks. Yes, nothing to worry. It's quite right. Yes, my lord. There appears to be someone standing at your side. Is that so strange? I guess it is. Ah, yes. My apprentice and assistant. Prosecution believes today's proceedings will see the complexity of this case rise considerably. You know, when I was looking up looking it up to see how it was, I was looking things up. Just because, you know, I need to know this stuff. One of the stills that showed up was a still from that animation, and I just lost my mind laughing, because I was like, right, that happens. And it happened so immediately. Van Zieks, why are you so dumb? Yet so smart. Your assistant doesn't seem to be much better, to be honest. Okay. What was we saying? Oh right, rise in complexity of the case. I therefore instructed my assistant okay, let's try. I therefore instructed my assistant to attend to ensure the smooth running of the trial. And the smooth running of liquid refreshments, by the look of it. He doesn't really drink them, though. The way he holds himself, the way he moves. It couldn't be anyone else. Still suffering from amnesia. There's really nothing we can do at the moment. I know, but... Oh, this is so very hard. Oh yeah, I looked... Because I was looking up things. I think... When stuff happened, Kazuma Asogi got taken in by the Mikotobas. So, Susato and Asogi are kind of like... siblings in a way? Like adopted siblings, sort of, but not officially. So that seems to be the angle the game takes. That's why Susato's having a hard time. That's essentially her big brother. So I'm like, oh. I also had people, I need to double check to see if that's, if this is actually true. But if you do get told how Ryunosuke and Kazuma met, apparently. And Kazuma did not like Ryunosuke at all. At first. That made me laugh so much. I'm like, I didn't hear of this. Where is this from? Because it's probably, I don't think it's in-game. I think it's probably from a drama CD or one of the bonus cases that never made it to English. Because I know there's two. There's one that takes place in Japan and one that takes place here in London. I did watch a translation. You'll have to find that on YouTube. But anyway, I'm getting distracted. Sorry. It would appear the prosecution has done a fine job in responding to the demands of the court made yesterday. I understand you have successfully secured the engineer who disappeared from the scene on the day in question. Yes, my lord. I intend to call him as a witness shortly. Very good, very good. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, who have been chosen at random to represent the will of the people in this courtroom today, are you ready and willing to proceed? Of course, my lord. I'm sure we all understand the importance of doing our civic duty. I do so despise deception and deceit. I find it so very wary. To take a man's life with conjuring trick. It is against the magician's code, not to mention the law. Any fake scientist should feel the wrath of God, if you ask me. We have to listen to what's said on both sides, then settle the score. That's it, isn't it? Again, why do we have a child as a juror? She's quite young looking at the very least, even if she isn't a kid. Wasn't like this in my day. Wasn't like this at all. Are we sure he is ready? That guy never looks focused. If all parties are ready to proceed, you may begin, Lord Van Zeeks. Before I do, my lord, there's a report I must read to the court. Yesterday, at the Great Exhibition Grounds, the evidence of primary importance in this case, the super high voltage instantaneous kinesis machine, which was installed on the experimentation stage, was deliberately destroyed in an explosion affected by an unknown person or persons. It was what? An explosion? This is an outrage. It went boom. It went boom. Because of Trevor. Yes, I heard this grave news yesterday. Scotland Yard submitted a report to my office in the evening. I read that the machine was blasted to smithereens, and the wreckage reduced to ashes in the flames. I have here a photographic print of the scene, taken in the wake of the explosion. Ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Is this at the top? Oh yeah, it is. It shows what little remains of the machine. Yes. A terrible business. Okay, so this is at the bottom of the contraption on top of the stage, but the stage itself is relatively unharmed. Maybe the policeman actually did live. Nothing else looks scorched or anything, but they could have gotten hit by shrapnel. Poor police people. He did it to destroy the evidence, did he? That Enoch Drebber. The court will take this print as evidence, counsel. We have an exploded machine. Picture. Late yesterday afternoon. The protection afforded to the machine by the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act was revoked. However, before a thorough investigation could begin, the invention was obliterated from existence. As such, this will become a very different trial. How so? Everyone else gets quite surprised about it. As it stands now, with no evidence on which to draw meaningful conclusions, the authenticity of the kinesis machine will remain forever in obscurity. Indeed. Most unfortunate state of affairs. However, one thing remains clear. The victim's death was the result of the actions of the accused. Of that we can be certain. For it was the accused himself who was operating the machine, and who ultimately caused its loss of control.
Objection!
As Lord Van Zeeks rightly says, this is a very different trial now. He wasn't expecting Rhiannoska to come out swinging. The accused accepts responsibility for his part in the events that transpired. He acknowledges that Mr. Asmund died as a result of the accident caused by his machine's malfunction. However, unbeknownst to the professor, he was being deliberately deceived by a pair of very clever fraudsters. Names, counsel, if you please. The engineer, Mr. Enoch Drebber, and the victim himself, Mr. Odi Asman. He doesn't have anything to say. Are you gonna go easier on us today because we're defending your friend? Or are you still gonna be just as cranky as usual? So, what exactly were these two men up to behind the defendant's back? The defense intends to expose that information, thus establishing the unequivocal innocence of the defendant. He's such a live pose when he's pointing. Thank you, consuls. The positions of the prosecution and defense have been clearly stated. Let me check. Huh. Okay. That's fine. Alright. I'm like, I just had to check something. Lord Van Zeeks, summon your first witness, please. At once, my lord. The prosecution calls the engineer, Mr. Enoch Drebber, to the stand. Everyone's posing today. Hi, Drebber. State your name and occupation for the court. Name, Enoch Drebber. Occupation, hard to pin down, I would say. That black monocle? Yes, I do feel as though I've seen it somewhere before. Oh, you too? I had the exact same feeling myself. Your file indicates that you are currently being investigated in connection with another case. The theft of a waxwork model, is it? A most extraordinary sounding business. But that has no bearing on this trial. I assure you. Leave it from your mind. You're familiar with the public experiment carried out at the Great Exhibition some days ago. The accused's super high voltage instantaneous kinesis demonstration. Yes, you could say that. I'm aware of it. There was a terrible accident, wasn't there? Every time Finn thinks, do you really need him to hand you things? It was you, Miss Drebber. Oh. Messed up immediately. It was you, Mr. Drebber, who constructed the vast machine used in the experiment. So our investigations indicate. You confirm your involvement. Yes, I constructed it. In precise accordance with the blueprints. But that's all. The court would be very interested to hear your thoughts about the machine, I'm sure. What? Ooh, lots of yawns today, I'm sorry. An amazing device, if you ask me. The pinnacle of modern science. The pinnacle of modern science, making instantaneous kinesis a reality at last. What? Good gracious! Do you mean to say that the experiment was bona fide? That is your belief, sir? Yes, that is very much my belief. Such a waste that it blew up.
Objection!
We've already established the machine was nothing more than a prop for an elaborate conjuring trick.
Objection!
Establish nothing of the sort. All that was shown during yesterday's proceedings is the same outcome that could have been produced by a means of stage trickery. The defense merely proposed a method and demonstrated its feasibility. Nothing more. But we've procrastinated long enough, I feel. Witness, you will now give your formal testimony about the machine that you constructed for the purpose of the demonstration at the Great Exhibition. Understood. I think I like his animations the most. The movements. They're just very interesting. I just... Especially when he rolled out of the safe at the end of last stream. I was like, oh, I forgot he did that. The kinesis machine. I met the young professor approximately 1 year ago through Mr. Asman's introduction. He provided me with the blueprints, and I constructed the machine to his precise specifications. It was no trick. If the whole show was a fraud, it would have required a body double. Tell me, did the victim have a twin? All the spectators saw the birdcage appear above their heads, and then crash headfirst into the crystal tower. A terrible accident, I grant you. Perhaps the science on which the machine was built was flawed somehow. A body double? That goes without saying, surely. To give the impression that something has moved when in reality it hasn't. It's a basic conjuring principle. The deception cannot be achieved without substituting the original with a fake at some point in the performance. And now I'm thinking of Kaito Kid. He does that all the time with the gems he takes. Well, quite often. Well, there's quite a bit of fakes involved and whatnot. I don't want to watch Magic Kaito. Moving on, though. But I would be right in saying, you haven't managed to establish anything along those lines. Ugh. Incidentally, prosecution has already confirmed that Mr. Asman had no twin siblings. I do! I have a twin sister. I don't know why I felt the need to share that information, really. But I'm a twin! There's somebody who looks like me. That's Saporia. I mentioned her. I wonder if we'll see her. Anyway. When there's mentioned twins, I like perk up. Sorry. Being a twin myself. It doesn't get brought up as much as you might think. Before you start bombarding me with a million questions, no. Being a twin's very normal to me. The answer to most questions is normal! If you think about it, it's not really surprising. I've spent my whole life as a twin. It's nothing new to me. Anyway. It's my understanding that this witness is well versed in conjuring artfulness. Artfulness. Oh my goodness. How hard to say. But such talents do not indicate that he was actually able to accomplish what he claims. Namely, the construction of what, by all counts, must have been an extremely complex scientific machine. Whatever do you mean? Yesterday's proceedings brought the true nature of your past exploits to light, Mr. Drebber. Indeed it did, my lord. It was a swindler who preys on innocent scientists to enlist in the government grant money through conjuring know-how. Yes, it's true that I possess considerable knowledge of stage magic. But crucially, my scientific knowledge more than matches that of any academic in the field. Investigation of the witness's workshop attests to that claim, my lord. As evidence, the police found this Royal Society trophy, a young talent in science there. Yes, that's true. We spotted it's there ourselves. If our hypothesis is sound, it can always be forged into a physical manifestation with sufficient skill. Though I may have sold the secrets of some deceptive wiles to sniveling, talentless scientists in the past. Would you therefore assert that the explosion of the machine was an unfortunate accident, or of course, a deliberate act of murder carried out by a misuse of the science? Murmurs. Counsel for the defense, your cross-examination, please. Yes, my lord. Oop. Da. Kinesis machine. Okay. Met him a year ago. Don't really need to know about that. Blueprints. Might want to ask about the blueprints. Full shows, Brava, body double. That might be worth looking into. I'm just going over the dialogue right now. I'm like, what do I want to try pressing first? Okay, that probably... Okay. Let's see. Oop, one too far. Blueprints. Can you tell me more about the blueprints? It's clear that you have both scientific knowledge and knowledge of conjuring magic. However, the more knowledge you have, the better equipped you are to handle whatever comes along. But your implication is that I've furnished the machine with some trickery, I think. A possibility that we have to explore. Unfortunately, though, the machine has been blown to Kingdom Come. So there's really nothing left to explore, is there? It appears that the kinesis machine was fitted with a time explosive device of some kind. There's nothing left of the device either. Not a single shred of evidence remaining, I hear. You must have planned all of this from the outset. But in any case, it's abundantly clear that the experiment couldn't have been a trick. Okay.
Hold it!
Body double. Of course, that's it. Mr. Asman was a twin. We've been over this. He is not.
Objection!
Saw that coming. Perhaps my learned friend wasn't listening earlier. Mr. Asman has no twin siblings. Or sibling. Wouldn't that be clear? Has no twin siblings. No, I heard you before. Thread of hope hadn't quite left me. The demonstration couldn't have been a trick if there was somebody who looked sufficiently like the victim. But Dr. Synth absolutely ruled that out as a possibility. It is beyond question that the victim himself, Mr. Asman, did move from the stage to the Crystal Tower. The fingerprints found at the scene attest to the fact. So it can't have been orchestrated using someone who looked identical to Mr. Asman, then. What are you thinking, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, no, nothing. Just that the idea of someone who looked identical to the victim is playing on my mind. The waxwork? Huh. Do I have anything actually to present right away? It's like a big old hole in the bottom. They mentioned one of the previous moments that it did look like it could open up. Well, it definitely can open up. Why is there a pit in this machine? Okay, that's the... we don't need that right now. Yeah. Professor Waxwork with those stolen from Madame Truspel's special exhibition. Maybe we just need to press on everything. Let me start from the beginning. So you were already acquainted with Mr. Asman himself? Not really. By chance I had seen his name mentioned in the papers. That's all. I had no interest in his private affairs. If he was an unscrupulous investor, it was no concern of mine. As long as people pay their bills, I take up my tools and construct what they ask for. So why did Mr. Asman approach you in particular, then? Who can say? I presume because my name is associated with excellence in engineering. Not to mention excellence in fraud. He didn't like that much. Hard to gauge. But the point is, all I did was construct the machine according to the blueprints I was given. In other words, Kinesis machine was built on solid scientific principles. Yes, you might say that. Professor Harebrain certainly has a mind like no other.
Hold it!
Okay, what about the birdcage in the Crystal Tower? It's crashed head first, you say? According to the many witnesses' reports from the... Okay, try again. According to the many witness reports from those there at the time, yes. Were you not there at the exhibition grounds on the day? He's like calculating every time he does that. Unlikely. I rarely leave my workshop. As none of your unique inventions was found at the scene. Shrug. Well, it was the unveiling of a machine I labored over for many months. I saw it clear with my own eyes. The birdcage plummeting headfirst into the tower. What a surprise. I believe the victim's neck was broken from the headlong fall, wasn't it? How would you have come by that information? Even an infernal recluse like me reads the newspapers, you know. According to the reports, 2 injuries were apparent on the victim's body. Yes, he'd been stabbed in the chest by a screwdriver, believed to belong to the defendant. Do we have that? Actually, hold on. We do. I mean, we have the autopsy report, but do we have a newspaper? No, we don't. Or maybe here. Oh, that's just for the exhibition. And then we have Van Zeke's getting attacked with the endless assistance. The maybe not, possibly Kazuma. Amnesiatic Kazuma. I don't know why I'm laughing. Okay. So yeah. Stabbed with a screwdriver and believed to fall at distance. And he had broken vertebrae as a result of a fall from a considerable height. Correct. My learned friend has been doing his research, it seems. We know which injury was the fatal one. Sadly not. Forensic science is not yet at the level where such things can be determined. We do know. The victim died having sustained both injuries at some point during the experiment. And since he was found in the birdcage with his neck broken, it's obvious that he fell from a considerable height. I suppose that's hard to deny. We got one last? Yeah. Haven't got anything new yet.
Hold it!
So you understood the science, did you? Not in the slightest. Oh, right. As I said a number of times, I'm an engineer. My job is to manufacture according to the blueprints I'm given. I would be inviting manifold problems if I foolishly allowed my brain to digest the ideas behind them. I could be accused of stealing those ideas, for example. How is it possible to construct a machine without really understanding the principles it relies on? Well, you're practicing law without really understanding the principles it relies on, aren't you? Rude. Very good point. Stand up for yourself, Mr. Naruhodo. Point is, the experiment resulted in instantaneous kinesis taking place. As such, the science must be sound. Yes, and really, experimental results are all that matters when it comes to proving a hypothesis. Okay, we got wraparound dialogue, so it's not just press all the things and then it moves on. Sometimes it's legitimately what you have to do. Water. Okay. He's certainly very sure of himself. What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? Well, now that the machine has been completely destroyed by yesterday's explosion, it's going to be impossible to argue its authenticity one way or the other. But if we're unable to establish that it was a piece of stage trickery rather than genuine science, we have no grounds on which to demonstrate Professor Harebrain's innocence. Mr. Asman and this man in the stand tricked the professor and used him. They took advantage of his naivete and his unbending belief in his work, and I won't let them get away with it. And seeing as the professor's an old friend of Lord Van Zeek's, what on earth must he be feeling towards Drebber? Grumpiness. I think we don't want to focus on the machine, but more of... yeah, the bird cage. Maybe I gotta bring the waxwork in here somehow? Because we did find the piece of crystal tower glass on the waxwork at Madame Truspel's. Not the head that we have in our court record, but like the actual rest of the waxwork that's in the museum? Yeah, it's a waxwork museum. So yeah, museum. Like, what is it called? Already forgot. What can we do? So the birdcage appeared at the heads of the crash at Crystal Tower. The whole show was a fraud and would have required a body double. Tell me, victim have a twin. Do we present the waxwork here? Maybe? Okay, let me try saving it, because usually, for at least the Great Ace Attorney here, it takes a while for them to... It's quicker to load than it is. Oh, we want quick right now. Do I present this or the glass? Huh. Yeah, maybe? Maybe it's the glass?
Objection!
No. Not that. Let's try again. Let's try again. This one's hard to get my head wrapped around. Let's see. But once we get going, we should be able to get proving.
Objection!
No. It's not that. Okay. What other angle can I go at? Because clearly the waxwork was used. So... But we probably have evidence already. Because Drebber's up alone, so it's not like we need to get somebody else saying, "Go away, pop-up." I know no one else but me can see it, but it's still annoying. It's blocking my view. Let's see. Blueprints are constructed the machine as precise. We don't have the blueprints yet, do we? Trick. Whole shows a fraud. We required a body double. Tell me the victim had a twin. How do we show that? Inspectors saw the barricade appear their heads and then crash headfirst into the crystal tower. We need to present evidence here. Air accident. The machine was built. Lots. Let me get this moving. Maybe I should look it up. It's taking me a while. Let me try. Let's see. Yeah, we're still on the Return of the Great Departed Soul. We have been for a bit. Let's try looking it up. I'm stuck. I don't want to sit here and just have take forever to find out. I'm like, I can find out. I did this on my own. I went through the whole game without looking up any, well, the first time round, without looking up any hints. So I was too afraid to because I didn't want spoilers. Yeah, let's see. I just need a hint of what to do. Okay, oh gosh, no. Let's actually go to the... Where's selecting? Okay, Let's see. Where is this? Let's make this a pain in the butt, because it doesn't load up fast. And skip through all this. Okay, we're getting close. Where is this? No. What did you do? Yeah. What did you do? Okay, so... There wasn't... Okay, if it's... Okay, that's not very helpful. Darn it! Okay. Maybe... Darn it, okay. It doesn't give a hint. I don't want to look up the whole... Oops! See, wrong button. Okay, let's just try to think about this. So we had the balloon. And that had the... cage. Do we show this? Do we give us more information? Or... Whoops. Why am I like this? Instantly being beams the crystal tower shows apparent stab wound to his chest. Yeah. It has some of the glass. So definitely if they're asking if the glass is relevant, we gotta show that picture. Okay, I'm just gonna have to look it up. I really can't think of what it is. Sucks. But, it is what it is. Let's see. What to do. Okay. need to find... The explosion was either an accident or Harebrained used to kill. Huh. Oh! Wait, do we have that even? Oh, we do. Okay, apparently we need to look at this. Oh, wow, that's... Ah, look here, Miss Susato. Oh yes, the wood's cracked and broken a little. I suppose because it fell from such a height. Yes, from the height at which the balloon was flying down into the crystal tower below. It fell about 30 feet, or 9 meters, leaving the man inside tragically dead. Okay, that updated. Oh, but the base is broken. Everyone was... He just had testimony was head first, but it's not. It was feet first. Yeah, we were on the right thing even. Okay. Lucky.
Objection!
Okay, finally, we can get this moving on. Sorry for the wait. We've examined the birdcage that crashed into the crystal tower ourselves. As you can see, the cage, which is a wooden construction, has sustained damage in one particular spot. Following the explosion, it fell some 30 feet into the glass of the crystal tower. The level of damage is to be expected, surely. I agree. The damage itself is entirely understandable. What doesn't make sense is the location of that damage. All of the breakages in the wood are at the base of the birdcage, not the top. What are you saying? That's the opposite of where they should be. That's right, my lord. The birdcage that was at the scene is damaged at its base. So we have reports of the birdcage falling headlong into the crystal tower, yet the damage is at the bottom. The only way to reconcile these two facts is to accept there were two bird cages in play that day, which were at some point switched. Switched during what wasn't a scientific experiment at all, but an elaborate piece of stage trickery. Ew. Oh. Got a knock there. Haha! I didn't examine the bird cage. I must have examined it more thoroughly in my actual playthrough, so I was looking at that. You know, I knew that then, but this time I didn't. Ah! Now I'm feeling foolish. I didn't look at the evidence close enough. Good gracious! Explain yourself, witness! Well... If we examine the facts, there's only one logical conclusion we can draw. The damage on the base of the birdcage clearly indicates that it crashed tail first into the tower.
Objection!
Multiple witnesses' reports claimed it fell head first. The birdcage materialized in the sky next to a balloon, flying over the stage, following a spontaneous explosion. An odd altitude of some 60 feet above ground level, which is approximately 18 meters. It then proceeded to fall some 30 feet into the crystal tower in the ensuing deflagration. Witness reports amid such chaos are notoriously unreliable.
Objection!
The victim's neck was broken.
Objection!
He plummeted 30 feet inside a heavy wooden cage. However he fell, it would be unsurprising to find one or two of his vertebrae crushed. Just laugh this. Quite the laugh there. A riveting scientific analysis of events from the prosecution there. Though to be even more rigorous, you would have to say it was only one vertebra, actually. It wasn't quiet for long. I find it hard to see what's motivating Lord Van Zeets. This witness is clearly a swindler, the one who deceived a personal friend of his. If you're going to establish this deception, do it right. Sorry. I feel like that's the undertone here. Ah yes, and there's one more point. The defense appears to have forgotten. It obviously wasn't a trick, as a certain truth very plainly demonstrates. What? It seems to me that the cross-examination had better continue until we resolve this matter. Mr. Drebber, you will amend your testimony with details of this truth. Of course, we must treat the matter scientifically, after all. Arg, I nearly had him there. Is he dancing now? The kinesis clearly took place because there's nowhere else 30 feet high for the birdcage to have fallen from. Yeah, canvas-like material. Do you present the balloon now? I mean, we don't need the diagram. I don't think. Experimentation sketch. Yeah, that doesn't really show much. I guess we'll give it a try. Give it a save first. Precaution save.
Objection!
No, the music didn't cut out. Yeah. Huh, what else? How do we prove he fell? Oh! Maybe... Oh, maybe we... Yeah, if the hole was a fraud, it's a twin. We know us fell 30 feet high from the birdcage to have fallen from. Isn't this stage up high? Hold on. Where is that diagram again? Yeah, because if the balloon was 60 feet, that platform there, the crystal tower, is about 30. The stage almost reaches that high. Drebber has style as you saw there on there. He does. I didn't notice that. I'm like, somebody could we can totally start a white long-haired man club. Wait, long-haired. I feel like there's a better way of putting that, but my poor brain can't think of it right now. Moving on. Do I just present this? I think I already, yeah, I already. Oh, the music cut out. Perfect. Okay, my line of thinking actually worked this time. This is a diagram of the experimentation stage and its surroundings. Yeah, up there. We know that somehow the birdcage appeared in mid-air before falling down into the crystal tower. Whee! It's like, pew! It just pop. A fall of about 30 feet or 9 meters. However, if you examine the diagram carefully, you'll see that there is one other possible location from which the birdcage could have fallen. The same distance of 30 feet. No. How is Antique upset? He figure out too. Well, it appears the defense has a possible explanation to put forward. Go ahead, counsel. Yes, my lord. Of course. You will indicate the place to which you are referring on the same diagram. The stage. There's a hole in it. We have a picture. The alternative location from which the birdcage could have possibly fallen from the requested 30 feet. The stage.
Take that!
Here. If I had fallen from here, the birdcage would have plummeted the same 30-foot distance.
Objection!
Or maybe it's not. Oh, I have to put above. That's my learned friend's claim. I suggest he demonstrates for the court. Okay. Yeah, that was wrong. Ah, dang it. Okay, skip through. I need to put point. I think it's actually, I have to point at the top of the stage.
Take that!
There. The place I'm referring to is here. But that's where the birdcage would have been to begin with. Which is exactly the point, my lord. Yes, the birdcage was in the machine on the stage. But what we must also consider is the height of the stage itself. Go on, Counsel. It turns out the experimentation stage was built at a considerable height above ground level. If you look at the diagram, in fact, you'll see that it's about the same height above the ground as the balloon was from the crash site. Oof. When the experiment got underway, the machine and the birdcage were engulfed in steam. Ooh, pop. At that moment, the floor of the stage gave away, and if we assume there is to be a void underneath, this birdcage, the one seen by the audience, would have fallen almost exactly the same distance. Well, Drebber is reacting, so that must be right. Once again, my lord, this all points to the fact there was not one birdcage, but two.
Objection!
My learned friend has no evidence that the stage had such a contrivance in its design. You gave us it. Someone is responsible for the criminal destruction of the kinesis machine itself, it's true. However, the stage still stands. And take a moment to look at the photographic print of the scene following yesterday's explosion. There's a hole. Good lord, the metal grill that formed the floor of the machine is undone. Yes, most likely blown open by the force of the explosion that destroyed the rest of the machine. The defense calls for the space below the stage to be investigated. Immediately. Drebber's not happy with this. Neither is Van Zeek's, mysteriously. What is his angle? Mr. Drebber. Inosuke's got his eyes on you. It was you who built the kinesis machine. Which means it was you who built the two bird cages that were used to carry out this deception. Whether Professor Harebrain's hypothesis is sound or not makes no difference, because it's the construction of this machine that matters. A machine designed to take Mr. Asmon's life and lay the blame firmly at the professor's door. Something that could only have been carried out by you, Mr. Enoch Drebber. Ooh. Okay, now he's angry. Oh. And now he has a malfunction.
Objection!
Oh, hi. Why are you like this, Van Zeke? My learned friend has reached the end of his wild assertions. Or assertions. Prosecution would like to crush the defense's argument slowly, but surely. What? Your argument fails to hold water. On 2 counts. 2? Firstly, before and after the experiment, this witness went nowhere near the kinesis machine. Every relevant member of staff from the exhibition has attested to that. And I believe the members of Scotland Yard have also been on watch duty at every public experiment. In other words, Mr. Drebber had no opportunity to switch the alleged pair of bird cages.
Objection!
But I've already explained why he wouldn't have needed to. Nonsense with the crossbow. That doesn't bolster your case at all. The man who disappeared from the stage and the man who crashed into the tower are one and the same. The forensic investigation team's report is unequivocal on that point. Ah. And the second flaw in your assertion... Assertion. It's assertion. Why am I reading it wrong every time? A lack of this... Let's try again. The second flaw in your assertion is a distinctive lack of motive. Why would this man have wanted to take the victim's life? He had no reason to do so. A motive? I have to think of everything myself. I have here a contract provided by the witness. What contract is this, Lord Van Zeets? Contract into which Mr. Drebber entered with the victim, Contract into which Mr. Drebber entered with the victim, Mr. Asman. It reads, Mr. Drebber is to receive 30% of all ruminations from government grants or other income. 30%? Certainly very favorable contractual conditions. But there was one very important provision bolted onto that clause. What provision? Mr. Drebber may only uphold... Mr. Drebber may only uphold this right on condition that both contracting parties are alive. In other words, if either of us were to die, the contract would become null and void. So you see, I had nothing to gain from Mr. Asman's death. The diametric opposite, in fact. Ugh. Need I say more? The witness had neither an opportunity nor a reason to commit the alleged crime. In short, the possibility of Mr. Drebber having not done as you suggested is nil. Wow! What else is going on, then? It seems the defense's assertion was somewhat wide off the mark. Lord Van Zeets, you will submit the contract as evidence, please. We've got to look at that. Oh, it's true. Mr. Drebber had no opportunity to switch the birdcage under the stage with one in the Crystal Tower. He couldn't have done it. And in any case, I have no idea what his motive might have been. There is one aspect of your argument that still holds true, however. There were 2 bird cages. The prosecution is unable to deny that. Ah. So I'm sure you're on the right lines, Mr. Naruhodo. And I've no doubt there are other aspects of your assertion that are undeniable truths, too. Yep, and we gotta find them. But first, what is this? Investigator Mr. Odie Asman hereby enters a contract with a provider, Mr. Enoch Drebber, to fund labor and materials for the construction of a super high voltage instantaneous kinesis machine. Drebber has received 30% or ruminations or grants of their income. Drebber may only uphold this right on condition that both contracting parties are alive. That is a fancy signature. Look at that. Huh. We have anything else? Relevant. No, I don't think so. We don't have signatures on anything. a sneak feeling that the signatures are going to be important if it bothered to put signatures on. Well, it would seem that the defense has no rejoinder to offer. Well, I must say I'm a little surprised. I came here to testify about the machine I built, and instead my reputation is defiled. I think it was already there to begin with, Drebber. But the prosecution's counter has set the record straight, I think. It is impossible that I'm the culprit.
Objection!
Ooh. That's your okay. At the beginning of this trial, we believed that there was only one birdcage. Yet now we know there must have been two. In other words, there was more to the demonstration than we realized at first. He's quiet. I think it's abundantly clear that the same applies to the culprit. Get to the point. The stage demonstration was constructed and set up in its entirety by you, Mr. Drebber. Therefore, it's inconceivable that you had no hand in the events that transpired. It's really cranky now. So if circumstances mean it's impossible that you could have carried out the crime yourself, it points to the fact that somebody else was involved. Someone else? Counsel, are you suggesting? Yes, my lord. Mr. Drebber had an accomplice.
Objection!
Oop. What are you objecting to exactly? An accomplice now. Well then. Ugh. Jeez. Why? Well then, I presume you're prepared for what's to come. Now that you've accused not only this witness, but someone else of the most serious of crimes. These accusations turn out to be false. But make no mistake. The prosecution will demand an equally serious punishment for your slander. Well, counsel, do you intend to pursue this course and formally accuse another party of involvement in this matter? Yes. What do I do here? At the moment, this is little more than a hunch on my part. I don't know for sure if Mr. Drebber had an accomplice, or even if he really is the culprit here. He absolutely is. Come on, it's a game. At least we as the player know that. One way or another, though, I have to make my position clear. As a lawyer. So what's my stance going to be? Did Drebber have an accomplice, or not? Name the accomplice. The defense is ready to name Mr. Drebber's accomplice. Somehow, the two bird cages must have been switched. Everything points to that. Yet according to the coroner's report, that's not a possibility. Meaning the coroner is in on it. That inconsistency itself is a clue. Counsel. My lord? You have received a stark warning already. If you're nonetheless determined, then I must now ask you to identify this alleged accomplice by name. So, your answer, please. Who do you claim to have been Mr. Drebber's accomplice? This lady. Because she's the coroner. Yes. And the forensic investigation team person, which sometimes that was the only people who had access to things, so she's highly suspect.
Take that!
The name of the person in question is... What's wrong, my Nipponese friend? Surely fear doesn't bind your tongue now. It's a little late for that. Of course I'm afraid. After all, naming her in this capacity is definitely going to make waves. A lot of waves. But very well. Turn every single person in this courtroom against me. I'm sure it will be alright, Mr. Naruhodo. Thank you, Miss Susato. The enemy always appears larger than life but you'll appear exactly the same to the enemy. Alright then, here goes. You've kept us waiting long enough. Your answer. Oh, yeah. Your answer, Council. Now. The person who colluded with Mr. Drebber in order to carry out this wicked crime is Scotland Yard's coroner, Dr. Courtney Synth. What in the blazes are you talking about? Dr. Synth? Head of the forensic investigation team, and the coroner who conducted the autopsy on the victim. Yeah, she could hide a lot of shite. I knew there were 2 bird cages, so who could have carried out the switch to complete the illusion? The accident happened in front of a huge crowd of spectators, and the area was immediately sealed off. Then everyone, police officers included, were banished to make way for the forensic investigation team. Where else could the switch have occurred? It could only have been in that team's presence. Mr. Trevor's not happy, so we're on the right track. It's essential that the court determines exactly what happened following the incident. The defense demands that Dr. Synth be summoned to the witness stand at once to testify. Everyone's murmuring. Hello. You've got nerve, lad. Standing up there, dragging the yard's name through the mud. I didn't mean to... I know the woman very well. There's no better dead room worker out there. How dare you call her a criminal? My learned friend's imagination appears to be wider than the East End at night. Or was it wilder? Wilder? No, that's wider. Okay, whatever. The recklessness of your accusation aside, there's another grave problem with your argument. One which the prosecution demands you address at once. A grave problem? Oh my word. Who do you claim acted as the victim's doppelganger? What? Certainly. If the birdcage contained the body of the victim was exchanged for another, that cage must have also contained a body. And yet, no missing persons or accidental deaths of anyone even remotely resembling the victim have been reported. Which means there's no one, dead or alive, who could have fulfilled the role of a body double for Mr. Asman. That's true. My argument is that there were 2 bird cages. Then there must have also been 1 person inside each. The freaking waxwork! We've been over this. I don't know if I got an answer to this yet. Have I? What can I do to reveal how this body double stunt was achieved? Evidence. Very well. The defense will address my learned friend's concerns by presenting evidence that reveals the true nature of Mr. Asman's body double. Good gracious, evidence? I do hope this isn't filibustering, Counsel. The court is expecting a name. I should probably save it, because I'm like, I don't know if I show them the head or the piece of glass. I don't know if both would work. You think you have relevant evidence presented now? Body double and the birdcage were hiding inside the balloon that was floating above the stage, which means that any witnesses would only have seen them from 60 feet away. So who was it that appeared out of that explosion some 18 meters above the spectators? Aha! The body double inside the second birdcage was... I think we give the head.
Take that!
We know that the victim, Mr. Asman, was in the birdcage that was situated inside the kinesis machine on stage. and therefore he couldn't have been inside the second birdcage. Instead, that contains something else. Oh wait, okay. Did I mess up on that? I'll just redo it. Therefore, he couldn't have been inside the second birdcage. Instead, that contains something else. What's been described as a body double, which is what fell from the sky and crashed into the crystal tower. Yes, Council, according to your somewhat elaborate version of events. And that body double inside the second birdcage was in fact... He's looking wildly again. It's alright, Mr. Naruhodo. You're ready for this. Just steel yourself and come out with it. Thank you, Miss Susato. I needed that. As I was saying, the body double inside the second birdcage was... as unbelievable as it may seem, that thing there... Wait, they just brought the whole thing into the court? His eyes are closed. Does he not want to look at it?
Objection!
Ooh, spooky. Open your eyes and look into mine, my Nipponese friend. I'm sorry. This is a funny scenario. Van Zeeks is like, Naruhodo, you're going to have to look at me with a straight face and tell me that again. Now tell me, what are you playing at? Stand firm now, Ryunosuke. It's time to show your Japanese spirit. As the court will observe, this is a waxwork model. A model, in fact, of an infamous London murderer from 10 years ago, the Professor.
Objection!
You started by indicating the leader of the forensic investigation team as an accomplice in this crime. Now you've moved on to indicate waxworks. Yes, that's about the size of it. Why? Why this waxwork? It looks nothing like the victim. In fact, it could hardly resemble him less. What possible justification can you give? If you want to know why, ask Mr. Drebber. He's sweating bullets. You want to say something, Drebber? What? Just days before Professor Harebrain performed his public demonstration, Mr. Drebber abducted this model from Madame Truspel's. Did you say abducted? And 2 days after the incident at the Great Exhibition, he returned it to the museum. Then, the timing. This is true, Mr. Drebber. You can't get out of this. You're getting investigated for this. At first, I couldn't see why Mr. Drebber would have stolen the waxwork and then given it back again. But now, the reason is clear. He took it so that he could put it inside the second birdcage as a body double for Mr. Asmund. Apparently that's dead on the money.
Objection!
He's like, what is this nonsense? Yep, he's exactly going, what is this nonsense? Are you hearing this, ladies and gentlemen of the jury? Are you hearing this defense's astonishing proposal? The witness fabricated this vast machine with the intention of deceiving some wretched scientist. But he did so in collusion with the country's finest coroner, on a public stage in front of a vast audience. Are we gonna have to contend with the jurors? And that, to effect the deception, use a waxwork model that in no way resembles the victim. Are we really to believe this far-fetched tale? What do you decide?
Objection!
Wait! Yes, if you put it like that, of course it sounds implausible. My lord, I need to speak, if you please. Yep, we're getting... we're getting a sub-nation examination. Go ahead, Go ahead, Mr. Foreman. Myself and my colleagues have reached an agreement. Very good. In that case, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will state your leanings for the court to hear now.
Guilty.
Guilty.
You gotta hear everybody.
Guilty.
I'm gonna grab some water while this is going on.
Guilty!
Kill me.
The door for the bathroom is right near me. Oh, there's a sink. Okay, I got more water. All those voices really do a number on my vocal cords. What are you? Hi, what are you? You're the small black one. There was a kitty. I got distracted by the cat. I need to drink some more water though, because I am... throat's a wee bit dry. Ugh, okay. Okie dokie. That's better. Much better. Okay. So, as indicated by the foreman, the jury has reached a consensus. I knew that was going to happen. We shall get through this, Mr. Naruhodo, as we always do. And uncover some new truths along the way, I'm quite sure. Yes, I agree. I'm going to have to appeal to the jurors as usual, and see if I can persuade them to change their minds. The defense will now embark on a sub-nation examination. I'm glad you guys aren't making a fuss about it for once. It's like, yes, Ryunosuke does this. Please don't get shocked every time he does the thing he always does. Are you and your fellows ready to proceed, Mr. Foreman? We are, my lord. Very well. In that case, I ask you now to state clearly for all present to hear the grounds on which each of you has decided that the defendant is guilty of the crime of which he is charged. Judicial finding. Jujuro's contentions. Known that woman for years. She'd never be accomplice to anything. So they're nonsense to think those two would ever be conniving with one another. Oh dear, this is most troubling. But surely the waxwork the man stole is nothing to do with the coroner, is it? I have my own problems with members of the police. I do not trust them much. I've seen no rigorous proof that this waxwork was ever inside the birdcage. It's conjecture. Accusing someone without right evidence? He's not a proper job, is he? I won't have it. I like how the policeman went first. Somewhat unsurprisingly, it seems the introduction of this waxwork model to the proceedings has a pluralized opinion. Given that its face is obscured and its build in no way resembles that of the victim, I can only applaud my learned friend's Tementry? My learned friend's Tementry at suggesting it as Mr. Asmon's body double. Yes, the applause is deafening. And yes, I know it seems extraordinary, but that's the point. That's why I have a strong feeling it's actually a greater clue than anyone yet realizes. What are you thinking, Mr. Naruhodo? I can't explain why at the moment, but I feel as though there's a specific reason why it was used. Why it had to be this model. Really? A reason why nothing else would do, you mean? You don't say. Yes, and I'm convinced that it's something far more significant than whether or not the model looked like the victim. Well, if that's the case, we must prevent the trial from ending prematurely at all costs. Yes, agreed. I have to find a way out of this. If you are ready, Council, you may proceed with the summation examination. Yes, my lord. You... Enoch, there's Drebber in the background, but Enoch! You get to see more of him. I do really like that you get a full body shot of Enoch, you know, the character we're playing as through most of the game. Which one of you was saying the waxwork was ever inside the birdcage is conjecture? Well, I do have the glass, so I might be able to do something. I should probably save it too. Let's... Oh wait, can I actually present? No, I cannot. Okay. Can I talk to him? But you claimed the whole instantaneous kinesis demonstration was a trick. That I did. There's more than one way to pull a rabbit out of a hat, isn't there? Sorry. I grant you, given that this cage appeared from amidst an explosion, there must have been no need to use a real person. But if a waxwork had been used, the culprit could at least have the decency to make it look like the victim. I'm not sure exactly how much criminals are governed by decency. The point is, if you're gonna make a claim about that waxwork being inside the birdcage, you need to give us some evidence. Without that, it's just not science. I suppose we should expect nothing less than a logical argument from a fellow of the Royal Society. But that perhaps means his mind could be changed if we manage to present suitable evidence. Evidence that the Professor Waxwork was inside the birdcage. Can I produce that or not? We have the glass, so yes. Actually, I have something that I'd like you to see, sir. Oh? I must warn you that I firmly believe it's only wise to trust men in white coats. So given your jet black outfit, I don't mind admitting to a sense of trepidation here. So you don't trust anyone in black? Looking in the mirror must be very trying. Sassy Ryunosuke. I do have some evidence that proves the waxwork was inside the birdcage. Namely, this glass.
Take that!
At least I think that's what you want. What's that? Piece of glass. Well, the music cut out, so I think we're on the right track. Though it's unusually thick for glass. Yes, it's a piece of broken glass that we found inside the jacket on the waxwork. As you say, it's not ordinary glass though. It's very thick, and clearly made for extra strength. Much like the special glass that was developed for the construction of the Crystal Tower. The Crystal Tower? Holy smoke! Exactly! The centerpiece of the Great Exhibition, where the very incident we're talking about took place. The day in question, the birdcage fell from above, and smashed through a window of that special glass. From whence this small piece originated. Is that it? Precisely. So, what do you say? Now that the clear evidence in support of the assertion has been placed before you. Well, as I said, I only trust men in white coats as a rule. However, when the reasoning is sound, it's fair to say color shouldn't come into it. In light of what you've shown me here, yes, I feel obligated to change my position on the matter. I just really took notice of how many ribbons that guy has on him. He has a lot. In that case, juror number 4, you will amend your statement now, please. The presence of that piece of glass leaves me in little doubt that the waxwork was indeed inside that birdcage. Okay. Can I use him for anyone else? Nope, not you. Surely the waxwork in the man's soul has nothing to do with the coroner, is it? Nope, that's not gonna be helpful. The nonsense, the two being okay, yeah, that's not gonna help. Yeah, that's not helping. Wasn't there somebody saying there's no proof for the waxwork? Was it the little girl? It's not proper job, is he? I won't have it. No. Maybe I can talk to that old policeman. Do you have any information? Because you've known her for years. Do you want to provide some more information, sir? Please?
The order of things seems to have changed around here for some reason.
I'm a copper, lad. It's a copper's discretion to bend the rules sometimes when needs must. What's wrong with that?
Where do I start?
I've been working at the yard for 40-odd years.
That's even more than I thought.
I've only had a metropolitan police service in town for 70 years, you know. Oh wait, we've only had a metropolitan police service in town for 70 years, you know. Of course, times have changed. The public didn't trust coppers back when I started. It was rough. We had to fight crime, and we had to fight to win the public's trust as well. And when we did, forensic science was in its infancy too, even more than it is now. And she spearheaded the revolution.
Dr. Sith, you mean?
That's right. About 10 years ago now it was, when I was still a youngish Bobby on the beat. That's when she started making a name for herself as a top-class coroner. And now look at her, head of the forensic investigation team, and a woman no less. Well, you won't hear me complain. It's what we all dreamed of back then, I tell you.
Would you tell me without holding the gun in the air?
We're all out to uphold justice, lad. Full of vim, we were. Full of vim.
That's coming across loud and clear.
Okay, not helpful. Ooh, sitting on my foot, and my foot's falling asleep. I need to move. That's rather unpleasant. What do we have? Again, we have a contract. We have a photo. We don't have much for Dr. Stint. It would be nice if we got something on her. Okay, I guess whoever's talking about her, let's give it a press. See if anyone gives, I don't know, something. Something to go off of. Because on occasion, we do get evidence from the jury.
But we're only just starting to understand this case.
He does not care.
What are you reading there, sir?
The man behind those murders on the Solar Pond Street was caught in 2 days flat. That's real policing for you.
That's really not relevant to this case, is it?
You're wrong there. Because it was Dr. Synth in charge of examining hard to say. Because it was Dr. Synth in charge of examining the bodies. And it was evidence arising from her work that led to the arrest of the scoundrel responsible.
Oh.
That's right. Oh. That woman is the forefront of this country's fight against crime. The idea that she's somehow involved in this murky business is a load of old tosh.
I thought it was up to me to press the jurors, not the other way around.
Yeah, you got the short end of that, didn't you? Huh, nothing to do with the coroner. Oh, also, if somebody says something, somebody else might have something to comment. So I guess we'll keep pressing, see if we get anything to trigger.
Why would you assume that?
Well,
quite simply, because the unsettling swindler has no relationship with the woman, does he? True, as it stands, we don't know of any connection. Oh gosh, but it would be delightfully romantic if they were somehow to have a mutual interest in the waxwork. Romantic? A woman of society such as myself views everything in terms of relationships, you know.
You get along with many people in modern day, not gonna lie.
Well, you learn something new every day, even if you don't want to. One might wonder about a possible relationship between the defendant and this coroner woman. Or perhaps, between the defendant and the handsome prosecutor just there.
Are you shipping Ryunosuke and Zeke? Don't. Stop. None. There's a huge age difference. I don't know, I think Ryunosuke might be 23 now, but I think he's 22 at the beginning. of the Great Ace Attorney. And I think he's 23 now, because most people have gotten aged a year. I forgot where you get his age, but there is a point where you get Ryunosuke's age. I don't know if it's endgame or out of game, but people do know of it. It's apparently 22. I remember it being 2 years younger than Kazuma, and I recently saw Kazuma's age, and he's 24. Well, at that time. Again, they both could have gotten a year older now. Well, if Kazuma's the meth man and not actually dead, all that, which he probably isn't, given how the game goes on. But anyway, moving on.
This woman may be more astute than I've been giving her credit for. If that's the woman's stance, then perhaps demonstrating some connection between the waxwork and Dr. Synth would be enough. Yes, I agree. As soon as we have even a whiff of a connection, she'll be the first to know.
And so far we haven't had that. Okay, what do you have to say?
What sort of problems?
Just say, we have run into each other on numerous occasions while I've been performing on the street.
Right, I see.
Obviously, artists such as myself cannot appear on stage as we work in close proximity to our audiences. So we perform our great magic in parks, on the street corners, and the like. But the police use any excuse to make our lives difficult. Oop. Oh, the copper is saying something. What?
Excuse me.
What do you want?
Do you have something to say in response to that, Mr. Otomo?
Who are you calling a mass murderer?
Sorry, my mistake. I got confused because I heard you looked like him.
I don't look anything like the man. You want to be locked up, Sonny?
Thanks, Mr. Schlums.
Schlum's being unreliable.
Perhaps we could move on. I was really wondering if you had something you wanted to add in response to what juror number 3 just said. And clearly you do.
Back in my day, back in the good old days, it wasn't like this.
What was it like, sir?
We worked our fingers to the bone to earn the public's trust, we did. And by Jove, we earned it. People respected us back then.
Respected you?
No one would have called a coroner into question in them days. A coroner's report was a hallmark of an investigation done right. Especially when Dr. Courtney Stevens put her name to it. She was the best of the best. An apple of the forensic
Hold on a minute. What are you talking about? Who's Courtney Stevens?
Ah, sorry. Got a bit carried away there.
Stevens is Dr. Sith's maiden name. Her maiden name? So that was before she was married.
She has a husband! I don't know why I'm happy about that, but I am. Of course, silly me. It's Synth now, isn't it?
Stevens. I'm sure I've seen that name somewhere recently.
Yeah, we have. Where was it exactly? Oh, yeah, it's in this, right? Yeah, Courtney Stevens, right there. She was the coroner for the professor. The serial killer. Not like Hairbrain. Hairbrain isn't even dead yet. I mean, if he was an actual real-life person, he would die eventually. We all have lifespans. But okay, yeah, that's where we've seen that. Anyway, the point is, those were the great days of policing, not like now. Oh, wait! That's the connection to the waxwork! It's the professor! Oh! I could have thought of that sooner. I looked at that. We can prove that to the lady. I could have pieced that together a little sooner, brain, thank you.
Sorry to interrupt, sir.
But maybe we needed to do this dialogue, so... yeah, we could change the name.
But do you think you could change your statement to include that name?
Well, yes. I don't see why not. It was Courtney Stevens back when I knew her, of course. A legendary coroner even then. Okay, I'm gonna save it. Because... safety save. I'm not afraid to save a bunch. You're in the wrong place if you don't want to see someone save a bunch. I am a normal person. I save a bunch. Okay, I think we can fit him. Yeah, okay, yeah. This will work, hopefully.
Objection!
Okay, the music cut out. Perfect. Those two statements clearly contradict each other. I'm not sure if they exactly contradict, but still. Good gracious! Two statements to refer, Consul. So, juror number 2. Oh gosh, me? What can I do for you? I presume that you heard what juror number 6 said in his statement. It's brought to light the maiden name of the coroner, Dr. Synth, which in turn has revealed a connection that wasn't apparent before. Well, naturally, as a woman of society, I find such connections and relationships irresistible. But oh golly, I'm afraid I failed to see what you mean. Dr. Synth's maiden name is Stevens. And through that name, the coroner is very definitively linked to the waxwork of the killer. The defense has evidence to prove it. My goodness, evidence, you say? How utterly enthralling. Counsel, the court cannot overlook that last remark. I very much hope there is substance to your claim. Yes, absolutely. Of course, my lord. I would ask the court to look at this. The evidence that clearly links Dr. Synth to the mass murderer known as the Professor. It's this one, right? Okay, yeah. Just making sure. This one. I have here a certain autopsy report from 10 years ago. A 10-year-old autopsy report. What relevance does that have? It is, of course, from the autopsy of the person portrayed in the waxwork, the killer known as the Professor. Professors! Well, the man was a capital offender, so... That's right. This is the certification of death that was drawn up after the convict's execution. The identity of the killer was never made public, so the report gives few details. But what's important is the name of the coroner who wrote it. Courtney Stevens. Oh my! Courtney Stevens! Strike a light! It appears that the professor's autopsy was conducted by Dr. Synth 10 years ago. And a few days ago, Mr. Drebber very deliberately stole the waxwork of the professor from Madame Truspel's. A waxwork that doesn't, in fact, resemble the victim, Mr. Asman, at all. And do you suppose there's some unsavory relationship between those events? Absolutely, I'm sure of it. There's no doubt in my mind that the professor case is at the heart of a link that we have yet to uncover between Dr. Courtney Synth and Mr. Enoch Drebber. Hidden links, mysterious connections, secret relationships. This is all most extraordinary. We're surely obliged now to explore this further. Okay, there's one. Now we just need 3 more. Quite right. Can't let this trial come to an end now. Not while there's a cloud of suspicion hanging over the yard's best coroner. It wasn't like this in my day, but we're still here to uphold justice in the end. Nope. Now we need 2. 2 more. I don't know if anyone else is gonna go. Okay. She's doing... I like her little pose here. Okay. Who else can we work on now? No problem is a member of the police. Okay, little doubt the waxwork was indeed in that bird cage. Okay, so what are you on about? What to ask? Why have you brought that Gordon into court with you? Colin Co-op? He's been going back on the farm. Picked him off on my way into town. He's a proper nibbler, he is. Yes, the nibbling seems to be taking quite a while. Maybe it could wait until after the trial. Oh, I don't like the sound of that.
You need colonels at times like these. Whenever I have something big to decide, the colonels always point me in the right direction, see? You're talking about your cob of corn?
She's nibbling while saying guilty and not guilty. Okay, how long is this gonna go? Okay, enough. Enough. Oh my god.
Perhaps it's akin to fortune-telling with flower petals, like people do back home. So Professor Harebrind's fate is to be decided by a cob of corn. Could you not at least wait until we've had more time to find the truth before deciding on the defendant's guilt? Oh, I don't know about that. Me thumb's awfully full already. Maisie. I know it seems a little far-fetched to think that the waxwork model of the professor was in the birdcage. But on the other hand, it explains a lot. If there really is a reason why that particular waxwork has to be used as Mr. Asmon's double, we must do everything we can to make the jurors understand it. The truth is, I'm sure that's the key to this, but it's the most puzzling part of it too. In that case, you should see what additional information you can glean whilst trying to change the jurors' minds. We changed a few of them already. You can read a book whilst eating a rice cracker, Mr. Naruhodo. I'm sure you can do this. Right. Yes!
Okay. Other nonsense the two would be conniving with one another. Eating the birdcage. Well, we already have a connection with Drebber, but I don't know if that's exactly... Can we hit someone who's already changed their mind? No, we can't. Okay. Inside the birdcage. Does that change the minds of anyone else? Better not since the two would ever be conniving with one another. I don't think it will work, but I'll try it. This guy and the Royal Society guy. Let's see if something will happen. Again, I don't really think this will work. But yeah.
Objection!
Yeah, the fundamentally odds one another. Yeah, that didn't work. Okay, gotta think. What? Let's talk about working. Okay, so what exactly are you saying? Yeah. No problems with everything. We didn't finish yours. And I'm not sure if we got... Do we need to talk to you again? We already talked to you and you didn't. Maybe... We have to press on this statement again? Let's try. Either that, I need to talk to the magician without going over to the cop. Thank you for reconsidering your position, sir. Your words are misplaced, boy. My opinion is governed by logic and science and nothing else. Yes, science is where you should direct your words of gratitude. Ah. They're just quiet now. What's the matter with you? Too good to say some words of thanks to the mother of all academic subjects.
What is it about scientists? Honestly.
She doesn't have anything else. Good. Okay. We pressed the first guy. Yeah, we did. I think so. Doesn't have to do everything. Okay. We might just have to press him again with those two with their changed mind, but we'll try the magician guy first. What's the problem? Okay, let me just... Where were we? Yeah, he has problems with performing, and then the... Yeah, okay. So we perform our great magic in the parks, on the street corners and the like. The police use any excuse to make our lives difficult. Sometimes they even cook up a story to extort monies from the poor.
Well, that's definitely not right.
Yes, and it's why I say if you trust the police, you will have trouble. But here you are, claiming that this waxwork model was stolen to star in an illusionary spectacular. The idea is so wild, I think I will take my chances and believe the authorities on this occasion.
This is how the public at large views Scotland Yard, is it?
Our own police force in Tokyo is not even 20 years old yet, is it? Perhaps we should view what's happening here in London as a measure of what may happen at home.
Yes, like our Scotland Yard yardstick.
Yard. Okay, whatever.
Wonder how a policeman would feel listening to the way this juror speaks about the force. She'll have a word or two to say in her response.
Yeah, we already got that. Okay. Do we need to press on the for you again then?
Hold it!
We're really just starting to understand this case. Yeah, we've been here before. Yeah. Okay, yeah, this is just him saying that Courtney is a good coroner. So that means we need to pit two of these guys together. Oh! Wait, the little girl wanted evidence. Do I pit her with this? Because that is evidence. Let me try that. Why didn't I think of that sooner? Why am I like this?
Objection!
Yeah, that worked. I cut out the music.
Those two statements clearly contradict each other.
Gracious! Two statements referred to. Oh, okay.
If you could put down your corn for a moment, juror number 5.
Oh, you mean me?
You've pointed out that it's wrong to make an accusation without evidence. But the accusation that the waxwork model was inside the second birdcage on the day in question is not without supporting evidence, as the defense demonstrated the juror sitting beside you.
Oh, is that right?
Would it be fair to say you didn't follow the argument?
I don't understand much besides Cornell Cobb, to be honest. What is schooling for this child?
Of course you don't.
If I could interject here.
Please do, sir.
Now that this assertion of yours about the waxwork has been backed up by some solid evidence, it would be wrong of me as a man of science not to pursue the matter further. One more needed. Well, me too then.
Sorry.
If this brainy gentleman says he's right, then he must be. See? I wouldn't dream of going against Cornell Cobb or anyone who's got something between the ears. Well, we're progressing the trial along at least.
Success, if you can call it that.
He's like, why? Thank you, counsel, that will do. As a result of the summation examination, the jury's overall leaning has changed. 2 jurors now call guilty, against 4 who call not guilty. Accordingly, the court has failed to reach a consensus at this time, and the trial must continue.
We did it.
Oh, well done, Mr. Naruhodo. Another wonderful victory. And now they go back to their normal stands. A waxwork of the despicable professor, used as a body double for the victim in this quite extraordinary case. I must say, it's extremely hard to believe the assertion could possibly be true. However, it would appear that it does at least warrant further investigation.
It's the waxwork of the professor that links Mr. Drebber.
Yeah, did I say that right? Oops. Yeah, Drebber.
It's the waxwork of the professor that links Mr. Drebber and Dr. Sith. And I'm convinced that there's a special significance to that link.
I don't know what you're hoping to prove, lad. I really don't.
The truth, sir. By using evidence and testimony.
Here.
Court is to delve deeper into the alleged involvement of the waxwork in this case. And the prosecution calls for the owner of the model to be summoned as a witness.
The owner?
Madame Truspels.
Witchy lady.
I really thought that Lord Van Zieks would object to this whole line of inquiry.
Presumably this is a person who murdered his older brother. We have been told that, actually. That's not presumably. We've been flat out told. So I guess Van Zieks would take a vested interest in anyone involved in this guy. Given, yeah. Oh boy.
Very well, I concur.
Make arrangements for Madame Truspels to appear as a witness with immediate effect.
Listen carefully, my learned friend.
Oh, yes.
You should know that you're on the brink of opening Pandora's box.
It says an ominous sentence and then it has no more words. Thanks, Van Zieks.
The court shall now adjourn for 45 minutes. During that time, the prosecution will summon the new witness and prepare her for taking the stand.
Madame Truspels, yes. I shall see to it at once, my lord.
Moving right along. Kitty. Hi. Oh, we got to be continued. Chitters. Yes, I would like to save even though I've been doing that all day. Okay. Maybe getting sleepy. We'll keep going. Hi, Sherlock. Or Sherlock. Sherlock is the actual name, but yours is Herlock. Anyway, I'm again sleepy. I'm gonna mess up more. Gosh dang it. Ah, Knight Errant himself.
Oh, have you been watching from the gallery, Mr. Stones?
I've been on the edge of my seat the entire time. Courtroom trials are fascinating affairs. As a spectator, at least.
I'm glad you've been enjoying yourself.
Hi, here. Are you okay? I have to ask. What on earth is going on? It makes no sense. What is this professor business all about? He doesn't look like any professor I've ever met. Who even is he? I have no idea why he's called that.
Ah, of course. You were in Germany already 10 years ago.
Yes, the professor. When I discovered he was the one who had been abducted, in a sense of foreboding stirred within me. But who knew the monster would come knocking at your door? My heartfelt sympathies.
As it turns out, Lord Van Zieks is even more intimately tied to this case than any of us realize, isn't he? Yes, how true. His great friend from university in the dock.
And now, a waxwork of the killer who took his esteemed brother's life makes an appearance too. I imagine even the shrewd Mr. Reaper failed to foresee that kick in the teeth. An extraordinary move on your part, my dear fellow, to throw that in front of the man.
You make it sound deliberate. I can't help but feeling... Oh wait, I can't help feeling that this professor case is really very puzzling.
Oh yes? In what particular manner?
Well, there's Mr. Drebber, Dr. Synth, and Lord Van Zieks. It seems that everybody in the trial has a link to the case somehow.
Yes. In fact, I alone am not a member of the set. Though that leaves me as an empty set, all alone, with no intersection to any other. Forever alone. Excuse... That sounds like a lady? Excuse me. Oh, hello. Dr. Synth! Ah, Courtney Synth. Nay Stevens. Good day to you. Hello, Shlomes. It was very shrewd of you. What in particular, pray? Your request. That 10-year-old autopsy report from Gregson, didn't you? Why would you assume such a thing? Because Gregson told me. Grumpy lady. To think it's been 10 years. 10 years in the laboratory, wielding my scalpel. A smell of nothing but corpses and disinfectant. A policeman on the jury had a lot to say about you, as it happens, Dr. Synth. And I've accused you of being complicit in what happened. I'm hoping that you'll take the stand and tell the truth about what really happened. That certainly won't be possible. Lord Van Zeeks won't be summoning me as a witness. Lord Strongheart has forbidden it. Lord Strongheart? The Pandora's box you were warned about is the Professor case. But please don't make the mistake of thinking you'll get any information about it out of me. But attempting to hide from the truth, that's cowardice. I've always fought crime in the way I see fit. I have no regrets. None at all. And that's all I came here to say. So, good day to you. Shows up, speaks ominously, leaves.
She mentioned it too. The Pandora's box. Whatever does it all mean?
There's really no cause for concern, I assure you. When the trial resumes, the meaning will become all too apparent, whether you'd like it to or not. Huh? Now then, I believe it's almost time. I must make my way back to the public gallery. The edge of my seat awaits.
I think maybe you're enjoying yourself a little too much.
Ah yes, one word of warning before I go. If, in the course of the trial this afternoon, you perceive even a shadow of doubt about the truth, don't let it out of your sight. Pursue it like a dog with a bone. To the bitter end, you understand. Do not falter. Whatever may come to pass.
Alright, I understand. Thank you.
Good. I shall make myself scarce then. I purchased a bar of caramel earlier, so I shall be gnawing on that as you gnaw away at the truth. Bye, Shlums.
That warning from Mr. Shlums really mean, I wonder?
We'll find out in the trial.
Especially the bit about whatever may come to pass.
There's gonna be a lot of crazy stuff this trial.
It's time for the final chapter then. I'm determined to find the truth, no matter what.
Feels like it's gonna be to be continued, but... So... Thinking of the time and everything. As much as I don't like to admit it, I might have to leave the rest of this for next Monday. I don't think we'll be able to get to the end of this today, so... just have to save it for Monday. Which I was hoping to get it done today. But we did get it, so we got... Oop. Loud. For me, at least. Shush. It is so Madame True Spells was mentioned. I thought we would get to her section earlier. But no. No, we don't. We're getting it to right now. Oh well. I wonder what I should do for the next thumbnail then. Maybe I should be cheeky about it. We'll see. But it is also not just the end of the stream, it's also the end of the streams for this week! Woo! And... I already made some plans for next week. I think I'm gonna do another Spectrum stream because we're right before the area where you get the Ryza fossil, and I like the Ryza line so much. So I want to play it because I want to get the kitty because it's a kitty. I want the kitty Spectrum. I say that and probably thinking of a house cat, and I'm like, it's not a house cat. Though if you type in Spectrobes and Ryza, you can easily see the line. It even pulls up the evolution of Gazelle and Rydrake. So you can see why I want to go play Spectrobes next week. It'll be fun. And then I'm probably gonna get thoroughly distracted about getting Ryza up. I already have a name in mind too. It's a blue cutty thing. Mini blades. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be very fun. At least for me. I'm like, yay, favorite Spectrum. Oh, for anyone who has no idea what I'm talking about, Spectrums is a monster taming game in space! I suggest just looking up further if that has any amount of interest to you. And it's also real-time battles, not turn-based, like a lot of monster tamers tend to be. So that will be next week. Of course, we'll have Great Ace Attorney on Monday, though since I'm playing Spectrums and Saboria might want to play with me. So we're gonna have probably Great Ace Attorney Thursday? Yeah, it would be Thursday. I would move it to Thursday. Spectrums would be Friday. Because that's how I usually do it. Saboria has a chance of being more free on Friday, so if she wants to play, if there's a game she would possibly want to play with me, I do put it on Friday so she has a chance. Sometimes I want to play with my twin, even on stream. Yeah, oh yeah, and we're still gonna do the 1,000-Year Door, because that just came out, and I still want to play it. So that will be Tuesday. Yeah, probably. In all likelihood. So yeah, you can look forward to that. I will be putting up the schedule proper anon, so keep an eye out for that on the socials, on YouTube, in the community tab, and on Twitch. I'll probably update the built-in schedule system? System is the word, I think. System. To have that on, so we'll see. We'll see about that. Anything else? I don't really think so. Yeah, let's still look forward to next week. So, hopefully some of that sounds interesting. And I will still be dual casting, because it looks like I got that all set up and nice and everything. We have not had any hiccups, which is good. Relief for me. First week of dual casting is a success in my mind, so we can look forward to both on YouTube and Twitch. Which I will also say, do all the normal things for YouTube. It's the like, comment, subscribe. And for Twitch, it'd be follow if you want to. I know subscribe means you have to pay, and I'm like, I don't think I even have that activated yet. At least as of this live recording. But yeah, I would appreciate if you do any kind of interaction things, whatever platform it may be on. Helps the word get out, as it were, and then maybe we can have more interesting things happen, because we have enough people willing to participate in the community. I am slowly building of all you little meesies. All my favorite little meesies. Like you guys. Which, yeah. Oh, you know, I don't mention it too much, but it's probably like, why do you have these guys? I'm like, these a fan mascot. I'm holding one, and one is floating next to me and wiggles a bunch when I move around. But yeah, it's a fan mascot. I just realized people on Twitch have no idea. But yeah. You can watch like my 2.0 debut when I'm talking about everything, and my first year anniversary, I guess, if you want to learn more about little old me in this channel. But yeah. I may have wanted to make more of an effort. I'm like, wait, I have an entirely new audience who has like no idea what to look for. But yeah, you might want to take a gander at YouTube if you're on Twitch. You'll have more information. Okay, but with that, I will end it here. Hopefully a good number of you enjoyed this, whether you're watching it live or in a VOD. I very much appreciate it. But for now, I must bid all of you with fond farewells of bye-bye! And I hope to see you another time!